Hello football world, and welcome back to our channel where three blokes know as much about football as John Terry knows about Wayne Bridges' wife. Today we're going to be discussing transfer talks around the world. Don't know, it's true, he knows a lot about his wife. We're going to discuss variation of transfer stories that's going on at the moment, or things that have kind of been in the news recently. Any comments that you have, please post them down below. We'll discuss them next week as well. If you're enjoying the show, thumbs up, subscribe as well. We'll be posting as regularly as we can as well. So, first thing, boys, we've got, obviously this has been in the news for a while now, Johnny Evans' situation that every club in the Premier League seems to be after at the moment. Well, every big club. And according to papers, which I'd say the Independent, just to be specific, Man City are available to buy him. West Brom are happy to sell him now for $23.5 million. For Johnny Evans, what do we think?
Jesus wept. It's Johnny Evans, man.
Why did United ever get rid of him? Obviously. Missed a trick there.
First team player there.
I don't know what's going on. Like, I mean, he's not bad, but he's definitely not a 23 million player. What is the situation? Why are there so many clubs after him at the moment?
Well, I think it's just because West Brom are a solid, well, up until this season,
Yeah.
we're a solid defensive team. But that's obviously the Tony Pulis effect again, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why anyone would. I don't understand why City are after him. I think there are much better players in the Premier League. There are definitely much better players in world football that you'd be able to pick up for 23 million.
Oh,
well,
definitely.
I say that now after the Virgil van Dijk move, potentially not.
Yeah, let's not get back into that discussion.
We're not going to get into Virgil van Dijk again.
Of course, the right role at work.
But
the way I see it, it's a bit like. Do you remember when Charlie Evans was at Blackpool?
yeah.
It's a bit like that similar situation. He was just a big fish in a little pond. And I think Johnny Evans is very similar. He just looks very good defensively in a team where they do a lot of defensive work because of the lack of quality when it comes to the creative side of things. So obviously he's going to shine so much. But if he goes to a club like Man City, is it just because maybe they want him because he's got Premier League experience and they need someone who might be able to just step into games every now and then? Because at the moment, their two key centre-backs is John Stones and Otamendi, who are doing exceptionally well.
Otamendi especially, yeah, definitely.
But I don't really know who can kind of step up into that Man City defensive that centre-back role and kind of give that performance. Do you reckon they think that Johnny Evans is the backup to them too?
Potentially. Well, they've got company sat on the bench, haven't they? City end at day, Mangala, who are arguably better.
Well, he'd be the one going, wouldn't he? Mangala. Yeah. I don't think Pep particularly wants him there. I think he's only filling in as a job for now.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about. I don't necessarily think you need a team full of world-class players to be a great team.
No.
I think you do need players that are just going to do a job for you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at, obviously with being a United fan, if you look at United teams, like when we won the Champions League and we had like Darren Fletcher in the team. I won't say Darren Fletcher's a world-class player, but he definitely did a job for us that if you had a world-class player, he might not have, because the pressure, you always have high pressure on them, and you're always expecting more of them, whereas if you just get a player that's just going to float under the radar and do a solid job for you, might be a little bit better. I can kind of see the sense in it in that way, but at the same time, yeah, for the value that is being placed at, I think there are much better centre-halves you could pick up.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like he's a young player either. Do you know what I mean? He's going on a bit. I mean, then again, he's probably at the prime of his defensive time at the moment as well. But let's see what happens. What do you guys think? Any opinions on it? Comment down below. Next up, this one's a bit more for you, Kieran, because Kieran, you're a Man United fan, so obviously the whole Sanchez situation, you got Mickey going the other way, plus 25 million.
Yeah.
That's looking very, very likely. In fact, this morning there was an Adidas store in London who was apparently selling Sanchez tops with number 7 on the back. Now, I don't know whether that was real or if that was just a rumour that was going around. I kind of noticed it on Twitter. So there's that whole talk, is he going to be the new number 7? But the interesting bit I find is that, according once again to the Independent, I don't really know how reliable their sports section is, but 400 grand a week he's going to be on. 400. I just feel like that's a lot of money for someone who's just going to be.
It's a statement, isn't it? That's the point. It's let's show the world of football that we are still one of the top sides. Let's chuck money around like all the other top teams are.
Yeah.
Like when you look at PSG spending 200 million on a single player, which most teams could build a decent squad with.
Yeah.
It's United have to kind of make a big statement on the football stage of why they are still one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're swapping him for Mickey. I don't think there's any money exchanging. I think if Mkhitaryan goes the other way, I think it's just a straight swap.
Oh, okay.
Is what the story is. So in that case, we're not really spending any money on him. And then you've got to counteract Mkhitaryan's wages as well. So maybe it's not a massive spend overall, really, when you're thinking about it. Obviously, the 400 grand a week is a massive amount in wage.
Yeah. But there's a real split in fans, isn't there? You got a lot of people who say like, we don't really need him. He's just going to be playing in a position where you've got plenty of players. Because he plays in that left wing role. You got Martial who can do a similar kind of job. Rashford who kind of goes out that way when he's actually a striker as well. You got Matt Turner Lingard who can actually play on that side as well. So where do you see him best fit as a Man United fan? Do you want him? And if you do, where would you see him as the best fit?
I think you'd be stupid not to want him.
Okay.
I definitely think you'd be stupid not to want him. He's definitely one of the best players in the Premier League and on his day, and he's one of them players that will just work constantly.
Yeah.
Like whenever you watch him, when you watch him at Arsenal, especially last season, he'll chase the ball. He wants to win games, which is always an infectious thing to have in your team anyway. So I'll be quite excited about having him. The number 7 has been free for a while.
Yeah.
Been waiting. Memphis Depay was the last one to have it.
I just remember Di Maria just ruining that shirt for a while.
Well, Di Maria and Michael Owen had it for a while, and Valencia's had it, and we've not really had a solid number 7, a recognisable world-class number 7 for a while. So he does fit that bill.
Yeah. Is he the key for you for Man United to getting back to the glory days of winning the league again? Do you reckon he can make a difference to that?
I think he's a world-class player where we've got a shortage of world-class players right now. I understand. I like Martial. I like Martial on the left, but really I think he's a striker. Rashford again is a striker. I don't think they want to be playing out on the left. They'd rather be playing up top. But I don't think he'll play there. I think he'll either sit in behind Lukaku, because we're playing that 4-2-3-1 at the moment.
Yeah.
I think he'll either sit in behind Lukaku, where last game against Stoke we played Jesse Lingard.
Yeah.
Or he can either go out on the right. At Barcelona, he played on the right wing.
Yeah.
And I don't think it diminishes him as a player. I mean, as long as he runs in and he attacks people, he can finish from anywhere because he is that good. And he can put balls into the box. And at the moment, yeah, he's a better player than Mkhitaryan. And I like Mkhitaryan. I'd want him to stay. I think he gets a bit of bad rap, and I think his confidence is low at the moment.
Yeah.
And I do think if he goes to Arsenal, he'll fit in, and I think he'll do quite well, actually. Yeah. To be fair to him, and the way he's playing at the moment, Arsenal's one of the better places he can go. I mean, Arsenal are sitting 6th at the moment, and they're not doing anything. They're not looking like a good team. I'm not worried about playing Arsenal.
No.
So, I mean, if Mkhitaryan comes in,
what the fuck?
Game changer. You all right down there?
The whole Mkhitaryan, he was doing extremely well in Germany, and then obviously he came to the UK, and I was quite excited to see him in the UK. Interestingly, I got really excited when he came into work, when he stepped into my work, and I was like, oh my god, that's Mkhitaryan, and I absolutely lost my shit. I was like, what do I do? And I spoke to him. I was like, hello, and then he asked me for help with what he needed, and I was like, okay, I can't help you, but can I get a photo? I feel like an absolute penis, but I was like, I'm gonna have to do this. But anyway, the point is, it could be a Kagawa situation, it could be a Schweinsteiger situation where a great player comes from the Bundesliga and he just doesn't. Are you fucking kidding me? You absolute. Moving on. So this is going to link up 3 different stories that's going on at the moment. Seville are interested in loaning Batshuayi from Chelsea, and they also want to see, potentially if they can't get Batshuayi, is looking at that whole Sturridge situation as well, which obviously brings us into the whole Chelsea with Andy Carroll, which is still bizarre. Where this whole trio of players moving, loans and for sale, what do you think is going on with the Seville, Batshuayi, Andy Carroll, West Ham, Chelsea? What is that? What's going on there?
Well, I think Chelsea actually bought Batshuayi just because they didn't want anyone else to have him.
I agree with you. West Ham really
West Ham were going for him, weren't they?
Yeah, they were close to signing him.
And he was like, "Nah, don't want West Ham. I'll get loads of game time at Chelsea."
Then he just sat on the bench.
Yeah, and then he's just bench one, and now apparently he's potentially in a swap deal with Andy Carroll, which now apparently he's injured. Andy Carroll.
Oh yeah, he's out for like.
So he's out for a month.
Yeah.
So that might not be happening now. Unlucky Chelsea fans. I know you're devastated about that. Yeah, Sevilla and Daniel Sturridge though. I mean, who do Liverpool think they are? I know they've just got 140 odd million for Coutinho, but 30 million for Daniel Sturridge. He's got no such thing as form. There's no such thing as form with Sturridge. He doesn't need to be playing well to score a goal because he doesn't play well. Well, he doesn't play consistently anyway. Yeah. So he comes on and he does a good job, and I like Sturridge. And if he stayed fit, I genuinely think he might be up there as one of the best strikers in the world, Daniel Sturridge. When on his day, when he's fit, I mean, you saw it the season where he was playing alongside Suarez. It wasn't just the Suarez show, do you know what I mean? No. And Sturridge pulled off some absolutely world.
He even did well at fucking Bolton, and let's be fair, at that point, that's when we were on our way down. Yeah. And he was generally amazing for us. I can't remember his record. I think he scored like 8 in 10 or something. It was like only a half season long. Yeah.
I mean, he has got something, Sturridge. But he isn't 30 million. No. I mean, he's not consistent enough to. If he was playing game in game out, yeah, 30 million. If you were going to get 30 games a season out of him, but realistically, you're going to get 10.
I think Chelsea want Andy Carroll because when they bought Batshuayi, I agree with you, they didn't want anyone else to have him. Now that Batshuayi is obviously complaining that he's not getting game time, which is probably the reason why he looks like he's quite inconsistent when he's not. It's just that he's just not getting the game time to kind of keep a momentum, kind of start a form as such. And they kind of see him, and they must realise that they've got a decent player in their hands. They must know that. But if he sits on that bench, he's just going to waste away. So now they're at a point where they're thinking, right, we can either sit this guy on the bench, just keep paying him ridiculously high wages and do nothing with him, and he ruin this guy's career, and he's complaining anyways. Or we send him out on loan for a year or two. We get Andy Carroll, who will probably be more than happy to sit on the bench and just come off the bench, just to, maybe for the last 20 minutes or so. And he will also fill out English quarter as well. I think that must be their thought process. That's the only, the only reason I could see as a real sense that they could be thinking through. Yeah. There's nothing else kind of makes any sort of sense. No one goes, we need a striker to score goals. Andy Carroll. So going down a league, this is not actually that interesting. I just think it's hilarious.
I know what you're talking about, right?
I think it's absolutely. Jack Rodwell,
yes,
once an Everton prospect, wants to leave and get proper first team football, okay? But he doesn't want to leave for anything less than his current wages of 70 grand a week. Would you pay Jack Rodwell 70 grand a week?
That's a chance.
So apparently what's happened with this is they offered to rip up his contract, didn't they? Said, do you know what? You're always injured, and everyone's complaining that you're getting paid shit tons more than everybody else because he was the only player in the team not to have a relegation clause in his contract.
Yes, yeah.
So they went, I tell you what we'll do. You can go and have loads of football, and we'll just forget about the rest of your contract. And he's gone, no, I'm all right. I'm quite happy with 70 grand a week.
I would be.
Yeah, that's right. I don't blame him. And that's what he said. He come out today and he said, it's not my fault that they wanted to pay me 70 grand a week. Damn right it's not. Go you, Jack. I'm supporting you.
How long's he got left?
I think he's got another year.
I'm sure he's got like 2 years. but he's never fit. Do you know, he's won one game. One game he's won. Yeah. When he's actually started for Sunderland, he's only won one game as a starter. Every other game he's lost. That is amazing. Honestly. 70 grand a week. Well earned, Jack Rodwell. Honestly, I'm proud. You're my hero.
He must get up in the morning and think, I'm the luckiest guy in the world.
Yeah, mate, I would.
I've got a decent car.
That's probably why he's injured all the time, mate. He probably backflips out of bed.
I remember, when I was watching Match of the Day, and it popped up, and it was like, and the missus was just sat behind me, and she wasn't paying, she was on the computer. And Match of the Day when Jack Rodwell's now, since he's played 20 odd games for Sunderland, and every game he's played, Sunderland has still not won. And bearing in mind, she doesn't care about football. She was like, that sounds ludicrous. That's how interesting, it's bizarre. It's nuts.
How much was he getting paid at City, though? He must have been on a bit.
Probably about the same, to be honest. That's probably why he's got that much at Sunderland.
What, just straight?
I was a Thierry Henry and
I was hoping you didn't realise. I was like... last but not least, we've got the Aubameyang situation with Arsenal. There's a lot going on. Dortmund have been really cross with Arsene Wenger. That's a nice way I can say that. In regards to what he said about the player and how he would fit the squad, and something about how good he would look in the Arsenal kit. It just sounds, it's like a guy hitting another guy's girlfriend, isn't it? It's really weird. Is it going to happen, in your opinions? And if it is it the right decision for Arsenal for a replacement for Sanchez?
Yes and yes.
Yes and yes. Yeah. Why?
I think Aubameyang's an amazing player. He generally has been amazing for Dortmund, but he's got to that point now where he's unhappy and he's becoming a bit of a nuisance for the club. He's becoming hard work.
Yeah.
His disciplinary record though is insane. Like he's constantly missing training and stuff like that. In fact, I think he's missed it in the past few days, just because his head's not in the right place.
Well, he's not travelled to Hertha Berlin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which is the news today. Is they've not taken him. He missed the last game because he missed the pre-game meeting. And now he's not travelled to Hertha Berlin amid all this transfer speculation. It'd be a great buy. I mean, you'd be stupid not to want him. It's the same as Sanchez coming to United. I mean, to say that you don't want him, you'd be stupid.
It's like
because he's a great goal scorer and he brings something with his pace.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. He is a dangerous player to have in your team. Whether he goes to Arsenal or not, I mean, unfortunately, why would you? Again, at the moment, if Arsenal are the ones coming after you, why would you go to Arsenal? They're just about to lose the best player. The second best player, his contract's expiring in six months. He might not stay anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're going to be the main man, but you're going to be the main man at a team that's currently sitting 6th in the league with a manager that the fans aren't really behind, potentially the players aren't really behind. There are better teams.
But
And I mean,
But who's after him though? Who's the better team?
well, you know my opinion already.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I've spoke about this. I've spoke about this to death since since before the Coutinho transfer. Is the place that should be going for Aubameyang, in my opinion, is Liverpool.
Yeah.
I mean, that front three. If you threw him in as your centre forward, if you put in Mane, Salah, and Aubameyang as your front three, and as I've already said, Firmino wasn't a striker when he came. He could definitely drop back into an attacking midfield role.
I can't think.
I mean, as a front four, that's a replacement for Coutinho.
Honestly, I can't think of what a defender must think when they see them.
If that was the three lining up against you, do you know what I mean? Even if you're like, do you know? Even if you're Azpilicueta, who is arguably the best defender in the world, you just look at that and go, well, I mean, if I'm keeping up with him, he's definitely getting past me. And Aubameyang's gone. I mean, there's no way I'm chasing him. So, and the way Liverpool play on that counter-attack, I think he'd be a better fit at Liverpool
Than Arsenal.
Because
the thing is, if he goes to Arsenal, they're not going to play two up front.
Nope.
He's going to have to play either as like that Dybala situation at Juventus behind Higuain, which I don't know if that's going to be okay for him, or he's going to play on the wing, which once again I don't know if he's going to be happy with that. The thing is though, you got to be. We're talking about this. You just asked a question in regards to why would you go to a place like Arsenal? That's for 6, right? Only at the summer he was linked with going to Chelsea with China, and he was okay with that idea. So maybe he's at a position. He's like, you know what? I'm 29.
I'm done with Dortmund.
I'm done scoring goals. I've made a point already. I'm happy to go anywhere now. Maybe that's his point for going to Arsenal. He might be going for Arsene Wenger. He might be thinking, Arsenal, I'll come to your club as long as you can get Ozil to sign, which might be the reason why there's this whole rumour going around that Ozil might be signing another contract.
Because they're getting a world-class striker.
Yeah.
Not Giroud.
Right, on that note, we're going to finish that. thank you very much for listening again. Any comments, anything that you think, any transfers that you see happening or not happening in regards to what we said, comment down below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're enjoying it, subscribe. If you want to share it, feel free to do whatever you like with it, really. Thank you very much, and see you later. See you in a bit.